one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
This is Discover Crypto. I'm your host. TJ is not here. DZ is here, however, and it is going to be a very special DZ episode. So I was just talking to the producers in the background. But folks, Cardano is pumping. ETH is about to explode. We might see new all-time highs, according to my favorite trader. We're going to talk about Bitcoin dominance. And we got to talk about Donald Trump buying $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. It is an insane day. We got a lot of people in here. Make sure you smash that like. And that's right, I'm looking at the Doge charts, everybody. But let's look at all the crypto markets right now as we get into it here, because like we said, is it alt season? We're going to talk about Cardano, man. It's just going to be a fantastic show. Let's start with Bitcoin, though. So Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart, we're seeing a little chopping. We're seeing a little bit of a bounce from this morning here, creating some higher lows as well as some bullishness on the RSI on some of these small time frames. So Bitcoin might be trying to flirt with $120,000 again today. And you can see wee hours this morning. This is 3:30 on the dot. Rejected at 119,700. So we're trying to get into it. We're trying to get close here. Now let's go to the 1 hour, and we're going to look at some charts as well here. We're going to talk about this range and what the next move is for Bitcoin. Let's talk about the rest of the crypto market here. Like we said, there's a lot of activity, a lot of good times here. And no, DZ was not at the Coldplay concert. You may have seen me holding on to Cardano. But I would never cheat on my big bags there. No, of course I would cheat on my wife. How crazy was that, folks? Smash the like button if you saw that meme where the CEO, all of America is now united on the hatred of this guy. And someone else says some about CEOs. Something happens every summer. I hope that's not true. Interesting theory there, however. We're going to talk about pump token. I see people talking about the pump here. We're going to talk about the altcoins pump. We're going to talk about pump.fun. And we're maybe going to do a Cardano video in Espanol. Yo tengo ADA. There you go, folks. All right, let's get into the biggest gainers and movers today. We're talking about Cardano. The main reason it was up almost 10% earlier today, but now a little bit of a pullback. Dogecoin is up 10%, and we're going to throw up some Doge charts a little bit later. Just to warn you, this is just the beginning of the Doge pump. We might be seeing a dollar Doge this year. We're going to do the charts and see if that prediction can come true. But now let's look at the big gainers. We got Pudgy Penguins crushing it. We'll talk about the NFT situation. Athena, huge pump. Athena is now up 60% for the week. Love seeing this here. And Caspa, all those proof of work miners out there, they're waiting for this token to start moving. It's up 17% just today. Jupiter's up 11%, and Trump token is up. Donald Trump buys Bitcoin, and then his meme coin pumps in relation. So, interesting there. Uniswap's up. Fartcoin is up. Solana's now up 6.3%. Cardano's up 6.3%. Let's click on this so you can see a little bit of a spike there. Yeah, you've seen massive move here, I guess, as we were closer to this 24 hours ago, right around this range. So huge pumps for Cardano. And if you look at the month here, this Cardano has just been going nuts. It's now 92 cents. It's been a while since that thing has been close to $1. Now let's look at the big losers. Now, I need you to smack the like button, because otherwise your portfolio is going to look like the big losers here. And we're going to go ahead and take a sip as everybody gets their likes in. I'm getting called. Man, I had to do some stuff with the bank today. Had to give my bank my phone number because my wife, she's changing her last name. She's at the bank this morning. Had to go to an e-sign thing, and I had to punch in my phone number. I said, I hate punching in my phone numbers. I'm going to get spam calls. 30 minutes later, I get a spam call. So Truist, if your name is Trust, add a letter. That's probably not a good sign that I should trust you. All right, let's look at the big losers here. We have Pump.Fun. Bleeding Bitcoin Cash is down. Story's down. Monero's down. And ETH Classic is down. But that coin was up 30%. I think a lot of people, retail, they're like, oh, this ETH coin is $3,500, $3,600. But this other one is $20. So I think I'm going to buy this token that only costs $20. to retail on Robinhood, probably pumping the heck out of ETH Classic here. But let's get into Bitcoin price prediction, and then we'll get into Cardano here. So you want to hold in checks. You're talking about the mix. I like the little brown. What's your favorite checks mix piece? It's got to be the little brown piece there, of course. But Caleb Franzen threw out this Bitcoin chart. I always like throwing out his charts here. They tend to do pretty good. His head and shoulders played out beautifully here. This is just a nice little wedge, but these wedges gives us a short-term price prediction. And the way you measure the prediction is you go from the maximum length where it touched the top and touch the bottom. So as soon as you have the second touch on either side, so that's going to be from here down to there. So let's go into the charts here. This is the range he is pointing out on the 2-hour candles. And right now, Bitcoin is trying to break above this range. Let's go to the shorter time frame. Oh, man, look at that. Bitcoin is, whoa, right now as we speak, Bitcoin is knocking on the door. Oh, my God, it burst. It jiggled the handle right there, Chad. It was jiggling the handle. It might even have pushed the door open, but the chain stopped it. You know, it's like you're in a nightmare scenario inside a motel inside the ghetto. So someone's opening the door and they're reaching the wrist in saying, here's Johnny. But maybe it's here's Bitcoin here. So let's zoom out. Let's go back to the 2-hour. We got a prediction here. This is going to be from here to here. Now, you could play with this. You know, you could say it goes all the way down to there. You could probably honestly make a really good argument for right here. This is where the wicks touch. This is where the wicks touch. And we were failed to get a candle body below this range. So we'll go ahead and be a little bit bullish here. We'll take it right to the point. And short-term price prediction for Bitcoin is going to be, drumroll please. Remember, it's knocking on the door right now. Let's just say Kool-Aid Man's through. We have a short-term price prediction, $125,000 Bitcoin. And Crypto Face, he says, ETH, all new all-time high this week, not this month, not next month. This week, we might see new all-time high. If that does happen, I expect Bitcoin to range. But if we don't see it, it might be because Bitcoin is stealing the thunder as people try to, basically copy trade Donald Trump. And we might see $125,000 Bitcoin. But I don't think we see both, at least this week. I'm being short term. I think obviously long term we will see both. But this is probably one of the major news we're seeing here pumping Bitcoin. Trump media, this is breaking from this morning, disclosed $2 billion Bitcoin stack. That's right. Orange Man has a lot of the orange coin with the orange flag behind him. I think it just makes sense. So we got the orange highlighting here. Trump Media and Technology Group discloses the accumulation of about $2 billion in Bitcoin. We got how many coins that would be at the current range. That would mean around 17,000 Bitcoin, or as I like to say, 3.5 Papa John pizzas there. Whew, man, that stings. So this is from CEO Devin Nunes. Trump Media CEO here. We're rigorously implementing our publicly announced strategy and fulfilling our Bitcoin treasury plan. This is the interesting part, though. This will create synergies with the utility token we're planning to introduce across the Truth Social ecosphere. So probably waiting for some of this clarity, waiting for some of these genius acts, clarity acts, the anti-CBDC acts. Once we get the clarity from Congress, looks like Trump coming out with the utility token. So that's going to be something to watch, folks. What does that mean? Probably going to be tipping on Truth Social. Maybe sending money. Maybe there's going to be some sort of thing. If I also had to throw out another guess, this one's coming out of the fresh off the dome here. You can probably purchase his third NFT drop. He'll probably do a third NFT drop, and then maybe you'll be able to buy that. Heck, who knows? Maybe he'll pay for Trump steaks, Trump water, Trump planes. Maybe he'll bring back some of those other companies there. Now, the shares pre-market were up 6.5%. Let's look right now. Let's hit refresh. And it's up about 6%. So the markets do like what they're seeing here. We go back about a year. It is still much higher than it used to be. Look at that Trump pump in anticipation of Trump winning the election. October 29th, 2024. This was trading at $50 a token. Then Trump won the election on the 4th, and the token started to fall. And then they kept bleeding. So this was probably people in anticipation. Trump's going to win presidency and just start talking about Trump media all the time. Looks like maybe that didn't happen. So this was the markets in anticipation of a Trump victory. But what does Trump media actually own? What are their assets here? Because $2 billion is a serious amount. So Trump Media and Technology Group, DJT, is a publicly traded company we're just looking at. They own Truth Social. It's a social media platform, basically Twitter, 1.5 there. Also, Truth Plus is a streaming platform, Christian content, family-friendly programming, TV, video on demand, etc. Then there's Truth Fi. This is the America First crypto investment vehicle. Plans for crypto-related ETFs like the crypto blue chip ETF, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Kronos, and maybe a couple other ones. Also, they have their $2 billion Bitcoin treasury. They do have extra cash on the sidelines. And of course, they have the intellectual properties. So that's what you see with the Truth Social. So Trump trying to pump Bitcoin to new all-time highs. Who let the hitman in? Well, people like the tie. So we're going to just keep rocking the tie. I want to look like the opposite of Zelensky. I want to be a little bit extra professional. If you hug the orange man, you'll be orange as well. Does he spray tan, or is it from golfing, or is it a combination of both? Is that why Melania looks so tan? I'm not sure. Is that why Barron's so pale because of his autism? He doesn't like touch, so he like never. Father, I don't want to hug. Father, shake my hand. Let's see here. I'm just playing. Hey, I appreciate. You know what? The chat looks good. Wispy. Smash the like button if we're all feeling beautiful today, and we're mostly feeling beautiful because of our altcoins like Cardano. And I realize I got to take a step back every now and then. Sometimes you get too lost in the sauce when it comes to cryptocurrency. And those who don't know, every day on this channel, we bring in new crypto content. Smash that like button. Make sure you're following. We do think we have the smartest chat out there, the Disco fam. Disco never dies, and neither does the brain power of the community here. But a lot of people, maybe they just kind of know Bitcoin, maybe know XRP, maybe know a little bit about Ethereum. What the heck is Cardano? There is a percentage of you folks are like, I know it's a crypto. I know it's, hanging around the top 10. I'm not sure what exactly it does, though. So what is it? So it's a smart contract platform. It launched in 2017. If you didn't know, it was founded by Charles Hoskinson, one of the Ethereum original co-founders. But it set itself apart by being slow, methodical, and research-first approach. They took a long time because they want to do, I think they have over 200 academic papers that are submitted at this point. As far as I know, smoking the rest of the competition. Not too many other blockchains are like taking the time to do these academic research papers with citations and put them in publications. And I think they go to the Edinburgh College. But every update, peer-reviewed, rigorously tested, emphasizing academic research and formal methods. Like they say, a rare trait in the fast-paced crypto world. Now, the native token ADA, named in honor of Ada Lovelace. It's a 19th century mathematician often recognized as creating the world's first computer program there. And it was a simple arithmetic program there. Now, you can use ADA to pay for transactions. You can also stake your tokens. When you stake your tokens, you secure the network. You can also vote on governance proposals. It's probably the largest voting governance system. And then, of course, you can earn passive income through your staking rewards. When you stake to secure the network, you stake to a stake pool operator, and you get roughly, quote me if I'm wrong, about 3.5% APR. So if you put in 100 ADA to a stake pool operator, at the end of the year, you're going to have about 103.5 there. So that's what Cardano is. But now let's get into the price predictions here and smash that like if you like Cardano. This guy's life is ADA. It's a top 3 holding for me, and I love the community. It's a very, very strong community here. Cardano maxis are just Bitcoin maxis who research more. Ooh, the crypto chef cooking up a hot take there, and he cooked up a hot steaming pile of hot grits, and he threw it in your face. You just got DZ'd, ADA haters. All right, Cardano price approaches. Let's do some price predictions here. This is what people want to see here. Now, among the altcoins, analysts said ADA is showing strong breakout possibilities with the current price around 90 cents now. What makes this interesting is that the current setup closely matches moments from previous bull runs. For example, risk score, currently low 40s, same range when it was 10, 20 cents last cycle. But this time the price is much higher, showing how strong the market looks. Now, on the monthly chart, it broke above a key moving average. We're going to go to a key weekly moving average as well, something that has only happened 3 times in the past, each followed by major price increases. Now, we talked about this last week. The MACD on the weekly chart turned green, mirroring the bullish setup seen last cycle in 2020, right before the big rally. Now, a lot of people are saying, the next stop's 125. That's exactly where I came to. But probably the biggest Cardano hater out there, Alex Becker, even Ada's biggest hater is now saying Cardano's going to $5. Don't fade Cardano, everybody. So even at this point saying it has amazing tech behind it. He thinks Charles Hoskinson is probably one of the better figureheads in crypto. So, I mean, he is buying Cardano. At least that's what he's saying, folks. But now let's talk about the prices here. So first chart, ADA BTC. And we're talking about Bitcoin dominance. We'll look at that later. We got Bitcoin dominance charts. Let's look at Cardano priced in Bitcoin. So this is on a log chart here. You can see, we bounced pretty strongly off support there. There is going to be a short-term, probably a little bit of a correction here. Let's go to the 3-day. And so Cardano might continue to gain against Bitcoin. That's what you're seeing with this chart. Might continue to gain another about 50%, and then it might get rejected. So there's going to be a little bit of a speed bump in Cardano's near-term future. I'm not always bullish. I'm trying to point out some bearish scenarios, albeit, it'll take a bullish setup to get to that bearish scenario. So that is the bear case there. Also, a lot of activity around 1,300 sats. We're basically looking at sats on the left. It's right now 1 ADA is about 777 sats. Now let's look at the price here. Major long-term level that was broken through. They're talking about the monthly. We're looking at the weekly. This is going to be, I can pull it up. It's the 200, the green line. So we got a 50 moving average and the 200 moving average here. The 50. So we're breaking above the 50. So 50, it's going to be a fresher line there. But the 200, obviously, this is a 200-week moving average. Couldn't start until there were 200 weeks. You can see it right there, 200 bars. So after 200 weeks in Cardano's existence, that's when we get the moving average indicator, the 200-week moving average. And so it starts. And so what has been the past with Cardano's relationship to this 200-week moving average? So you can see it rejected during the bear market. And you see it rejected. You see it rejected again. This doesn't pass all that often. It's only happened freaking basically ever. I mean, you can count this, kind of ranging. But this is the only time we saw a clear, decisive breakthrough. Cardano smashed through that range and continued to gain 77%. Last time it smashed through the 200-week moving average. And so if we were to gain 77%, you're looking at $1.12 for Cardano. Now, I do think $1.25 is going to be the main point of resistance. We did a video on this, so make sure you go watch that video. We did a video on ADA, so go to the channel here and you'll see it. Cardano gets U.S. regulators' blessing. I tell you why $1.25 is so important. And also, if you like VeChain or Pump.fun, go watch those videos as well. So we do some breakdowns over there. Now, going back to Cardano, $1.25, you can just see, elevator pitch. It was the resistance for the first cycle in 2018. So it's going to be also was the first stop for the bear market pullback there as it tried to bounce back, as people were saying, no, super cycle. So $1.25 is just going to be very, very important. So keep an eye out on that $1.25. Now, moving on from Cardano, let's talk about altcoins, alt season. Everyone's talking about alt season. People are so delusional. They're so bullish on their altcoins here. Some saying they're smoking that hopium. I'm smoking it like a crack rock, everybody. Now, I was going to do some Ed Lattimore crackhead isms there. You should be like a crackhead, folks. Sometimes you need to be like a crackhead. Crackheads never give up. Crackheads never quit. Crackheads never say no. Crackheads say, I can. Crackheads say, I will. And I am like a crackhead when it comes to alt seasons, folks, because I just believe and I'm smoking that hopium, folks. You ever hear a crackhead say, oh, you know what? I can't get a crack rock today. No, I don't think so, because they never give up. And you're never giving up either. And we're not giving up because we know there's going to be brighter roads ahead. Now, let's talk about alt season here. We got to scroll towards the bottom after this part. Price action continues to consolidate after 123K all-time highs, and liquidation levels are making some traders nervous. The definition of a crackhead is a hex coin holder. Ooh, hex community. You just got DZ there. No, it's Ed Lattimore, Dave Chappelle, of course, Tyrone Bigham's very good crackhead reference there. But yeah, crack market confirmed. The markets do feel crack sometimes, baby. Crackhead life. You know it, folks. All right. Now, Bitcoin dominance did collapse, sparking announcements that alt season is already here. Well, let's see here, folks. So, like I said, we have to scroll toward the bottom of this. All right, so alt season frenzy is taking over. So while ETH and XRP led the pack last week, altcoin market more broadly is now tipped to follow in Bitcoin's footsteps and bring about the much anticipated alt season here. This we talked about in the Cardano video. I literally lead the Cardano video about this alt cap. I think I actually did total 3. You see a similar chart. Total 2 breakout for alt season. So go watch that video if you haven't. Now, shifts in the altcoin performance is shifting from shitting the bed, at least, in particular, thanks to ETH's strength, have already had a significant impact on Bitcoin's dominance of the crypto market cap. Look at that Bitcoin dominance falling off a cliff. After 66%, dominance has collapsed. Now like my lung after I hit too much crack rock. So it is collapsed. Now targeting the 60% mark for a support retest, lowest level since the start of March. Now, as various commentators note, the drop is the largest in several years. This is the drop. Now, it doesn't look all that crazy, once you zoom out there. But yeah, looking on the daily chart, Bitcoin dominance fell off a cliff, and it fell very, very quickly. So the quickest fall in 4 years. So it's going to be till 2021. So we go to the weekly here. And I warned you about this last week. I feel like I'm repeating myself here. I said, when the dominance falls, it's going to happen quickly, suddenly, and violently. Now, I don't think this move right here is this move right here. I think this move right here is this move right here. So I think we're going to have some consolidation. I think people are getting too greedy with their altcoins, too greedy with their predictions here, and too greedy with the leverage. And then when you got the president buying $2 billion worth of Bitcoin, I could see Bitcoin dominance pulling a move similar to this. Now, there's a world where we're actually more like in this range than we're in this range, and I would entertain that outcome as well there. All right, so keep scrolling. Now, we also have Bitcoin returning to exchanges, but it's very, very slightly. So everyone's like, oh, Bitcoin exchanges is plummeting. It's leaving. Oh, it's back, baby. The whales are dumping back to the exchanges. This is the whale dump back to exchanges. So we're talking about a very, very small amount of Bitcoin being sent back to the exchanges. So don't get too freaked out when you hear, the whales, they're dumping on the exchanges. They're dumping on the exchanges. Like a very, very small amount. Honestly, it's probably all that one guy, which some say is Roger Ver. I'm talking about the guy with the 10,000 Bitcoin. Now, there's the dominance chart. Now, let's get back to Bitcoin, everybody. I give it away at 420, not 5 o'clock, everybody. Some saying, yeah, that is a dead cat bounce, and we're going to go, that's a shakeout, fake out drop there. Sorry, we're going to bounce back to 68%. I don't hate that prediction as well. If this is a fake out, I go to sleep for 1 month. All right, that'll work. Sleeping Beauty, do what you got to do. Wait, did you have a collapsed lung? No. The crackhead powers through. The crackhead powers through. All right, now let's get into strategy. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds because the man just never stops buying, but he added $740 million worth of Bitcoin, even though the price was surging. We have his latest price here. So we got 6,220. He ended up paying $739 million. Average price, not 122. Average price was 118,940. And now his total amount of Bitcoin knocking on the door of 3%. I'll let chat answer. Chat. It's 21 million Bitcoin. How much is 3% of 21 million? I'll let you answer it up. DZ arithmetic master. I want to see who else in the Disco fam also knows their arithmetic. Who can add and subtract? But right now they have 607,000 Bitcoin purchased for 43 billion, and their average price 71K. So very, very much. Someone said, they can't. They're too smooth brain. 630K is the right answer. We got a few people. The chat's roaring in. AJ, everybody. Sailor thought 62. If maybe so. Oh, that's maybe with circulating supply, not total supply there. So yeah, 600. A man is knocking on the door of 630K Bitcoin. So very, very close there of having 1 out of 33 coins, which is just crazy to think about. Now, y'all ready to talk about the doom and gloom? Because we're smoking hopium, according to the chat. The bulls are in charge. What about the bears? Because we hate the bears, but let's listen to the bears every now and then, and let's go back in time and see what did the bear say. Now, I'm not talking about the cooking show on FX that stars Lip from Shameless. No, not that bear. We're talking about one of the most famous bears in existence, Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki. I have a old Kiyosaki story here. This is like 2003, 2004. And me and my buddy Patrick McCarley, shout out to Patrick McCarley, Wilmington, North Carolina, and our buddy, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but he went to Kiyosaki's workshop. He like went to a Hilton lobby. Now, Robert Kiyosaki 23 years ago was not what Robert Kiyosaki is now. He was still famous and he still had that bestseller, but he isn't as well known as he was. So he like went in some small Hilton hotel lobby. It was probably La Quinta. It was probably the La Quinta, and probably not even in a room. It was probably like next to the coffee machine and the Danishes. So he's at the La Quinta. He's listening to Kiyosaki. Kiyosaki supposedly like gave him, oh yeah, he gave me really good advice. It's, you know, really should check it out. To me and Patrick, well, just tell us what he told you. Oh, I can't do that. What do you mean you can't tell us what Robert Kiyosaki told you? He said, yeah, Robert said there'd be people like you, and how I shouldn't tell people like you because you're not willing to put in the work. I'd be like, okay, whatever. So that's my Robert Kiyosaki story. That being said, I read his book as a teenager. It's a very, very, very good book. All right, so Rich Dad, Poor Dad author warns of a Bitcoin bubble and how it's going to burst soon. So what? Well, let's go back and see what he says in the past, too. So bubbles are about to start busting. Oh, Kiyosaki said it's about to bust. But he said on Monday that when these bubbles bust, odds are that gold, silver, and Bitcoin, they're going to bust too. And then that's when he'll start buying. Okay, he's going to start buying then, not now. So meanwhile, bruised markets, zoom in here, is going to be a little hard to see. Point out that Kiyosaki has repeatedly posted about stock and crypto market crashes and has been wrong. He's been wrong on several occasions. I just wanted to go in real quick here. I don't think I can zoom in. I'm not going to be able to zoom in. So let's just look at the chart here. So this is, I believe, S&P 500. Yeah, S&P 500 index. Here's for the educated, economic crash is the best time to get rich. Guess what? The crashing is not over. It fell a little bit more. Okay, so he ended up being right. God, he did that in like April. So May, June, July. He was wrong for 3 months. Then he was right, and then it kept bouncing. So, all right, so next one we got right here. New show, cash in on the crash. And then he says, I've been predicting since 2002 we're going to see a crash in 2016. Kind of posted that at the bottom of a crash. And then pumped, went a little bit lower. So again, we'll say he's right. Here we got a sign, a real estate crash is coming. So that's going to be real estate. Yeah. So, maybe we won't count that one, but things just started ripping. Then he said, biggest crash is coming. We finally got one that actually looks pretty good here. We did end up seeing a little bit of a crash. Then it starts getting very bad, folks. Then his predictions turned to shit. Can I say that? Here, when you get out, guess who's been talking about the swimming naked? That's the Warren Buffett quote. That crash, he said, it's just beginning. Huge rip afterwards. Then we have this one right here. The everything crash is coming. Huge rip afterwards. And then we got stock market going to crash in October. Maybe we're going to get a huge rip afterwards. So it's not as bad as Jim Cramer. He's better than Jim Cramer. All right. Well, he's better than Jim Cramer, but the guy has predicted 12 of the last 3 crashes. So something just to think about. Now, we do have some signs. Speaking of the bears, let's give them their flowers. Here's some signs. Things might pull back a little bit. Whale to exchange flow spikes. We just talked about this 2 minutes ago. Yeah. Ooh, spike. It's like, bink. Okay, I don't know about spike. Spike, okay, spike lead. No, not quite a spike. So we're seeing a little bit more. The whales are no longer pulling from exchanges; they're sending to exchanges. Might be an intention to sell. We'll give it out of 10. We'll give it 6 DZs out of 10 as far as like, oh, you really need to pay attention to this. So that's only 6 out of 10. Then we have the Bitcoin coin days destroyed. It's a yearly high. So coin days destroyed means how long coins were held before being moved. This reflects the sentiment and behavior of long-term holders. So a high amount of days suggests long-term holders are moving their coins and are likely going to sell them. So Bitcoin coins stray. This one's actually probably a little bit better. We give it 7 out of 10 DZs here. And then third, We have the altcoin Bitcoin correlation turns negative. And to me, this was like only 2 out of 10 DZs. Altcoin Bitcoin correlation. Bitcoin can range bound, meaning it can just trade flat as altcoins outperform. Doesn't mean it's bad for Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be 120K 2 weeks from now, $2,000 higher. Your altcoins could double. People are going to say, oh, yeah, Bitcoin, crapped. It's not necessarily. It's only bad when you compare it to a winning asset. So I'm feeling bullish, man. I'm feeling bullish. But you got the UK. They might try to dump on us. Euro poors are earning that nickname here. UK working to sell $7 billion and seize Bitcoin. Why? Because of a budget shortfall, because they're spending too much money. And so they might try to sell up to $7 billion. Now, Germany sold 50 billion and the market absorbed it like SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay. It soaked it up like a sponge. In fact, I think it was higher the next day. And so if the market can absorb 50 billion from sovereign nations, it can definitely handle 7 billion from the UK. I just think the citizens there probably don't want that. I don't think there's many people who want your country to spend that. So, but it's 5 billion British pounds. It's going to help fill our deficit. Just hodl your Bitcoin. The Queen would not like it. Okay. Prince Andrew. Yeah, he was there. He was, where he was. Even Prince Andrew would say that's a bad idea. And that man doesn't even sweat. I just thought of that. He should actually be in crypto. The man, if you don't know, Prince Andrew is, can I say it? He's an incest baby. I can say that, right? I don't mean it like bad. He's not like, it's not like a Lannister. Okay. He's not like a Lannister. He's not like a Targaryen, but he's an incest baby. And Prince Charles even thinks selling Bitcoin is bad. But the man doesn't sweat. He should just be a leverage trader. That would be the move for him there. He's Joffrey. He's Joffrey, folks. He's Joffrey. He just needs to be careful when he's drinking from a chalice there, especially if Sansa was holding it. All right. Let's talk about NFTs for about 2 minutes here. This is good for me because I hold a mutinate, but I don't know what's going to happen there long term. But a whale created a new wallet. He spent $5 million and he bought 45 CryptoPunk NFTs 4 hours ago. That was breaking last night there. So the man just went nuts. And so freshly funded, ended up going all the way up to 8 million because he also bought some squiggles. Is the market ready for an NFT treasury company? Well, Garga, one of the 4 co-founders, Bored Ape Yacht Club here, co-founder of Yuga Labs. The world isn't ready for NFT treasury companies, but they're coming anyway. Now, he said they're coming anyway. We don't know if this is speculation or if Garga and the Yuga team is actually talking to different brands right now. I do think they're probably getting some Pudgy Penguins. They're getting some CryptoPunks. And then I would say maybe number 3 or number 4, they might start getting some Bored Apes as well there. So could be a nice little resurgence. And then Alan Carroll with the funny meme here, seeing a new 0.2 wrapped ETH bid on the NFT I spent $30,000 on in 2021. I'll share my story. I bought a mutant ape early in the cycle, under 5 ETH. This is like as they're starting to go up here. Whoo, rode it, man. I got airdrop after airdrop. They're just like giving me thousands of dollars left and right. Here's $5,000. Here's $3,000. Here's $8,000. They're just giving me all these airdrops. I diamond handed probably most of them there. That mutant ape went into the price of 2 Bitcoin, was trading above $100,000. And there's an upcoming airdrop in like 2 days. And kind of like on Lord of the Rings when it's not Aragorn. It's I'm trying to take this dang ring off there, but he's like, throw it in the fire, throw it in the fire. They're like, take your profit. It's 2 Bitcoin. Take it. I looked at that stupid monkey JPEG and I said, no, I'm holding. And I walked off into the sunset. And then Saruman hit me with this cane where the sun don't shine. So yeah, that was, but I think we're going to see NFTs are going to be very, very just attention grabbing in the near term. So NFT sweep, penguins are surging, the crypto punks are surging. Looks like their floor spiked. The punks spiked about 16%, went to 40 ETH. We're from 40 ETH to about 47 ETH. worth over $179,000. Looks like 83 of them were total swapped up in just a single day. And Pudgy Penguins also pumped 15% with the 100 new wallets sweeping up the NFTs on that new day there. So tons and tons. Whew, that's how many there would be. Tons and tons of activity on the NFT ecosystem there. So keep an eye out first. But now let's talk about Google Trends. I am tired. Biggest mistake. It might be my biggest crypto mistake. Diamond handed that thing. I still have it, and I'm still earning yield on a shit token that's like losing value. And I like the team, and I went to 8 Fest, and I got to see a free concert and stupid things like that. But yeah, I wish I would have just traded that for 2 Bitcoin. I wish I would have. But hey, all you could do is move forward and learn. Isildur, thank you, Concrete Donkey, with the hot Tolkien reference there. I was forgot about it. Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. More like I'm the Brown Ring Master, because that's where I got blasted. All right, now I love this. Everyone talking about Bitcoin searches are down. Bitcoin searches are down. I don't think no one smart thinks Google searches for Bitcoin will reach the peaks of 2017. Maybe it can hit the 2021 peaks. I don't think it'll ever hit the 2017 peaks. Multiple reasons. Number one is AI. Trends are going to be lower. I don't know if they do like net aggregate percentage, which would take away a lot of that AI hit there, but AI is going to take a lot of searches. But also, people now know what Bitcoin is. You don't need to Google what a thing is cycle after cycle after cycle. You should kind of know what it is. So I think altcoins could be the new placeholder for Google Trends. It just hit a 4-year high. Bitcoin cannot hit that 4-year high, but altcoins potentially might hit that 4-year high there. Retail is coming back. So I think retail is not going to Google Bitcoin. They're going to Google altcoins. So you heard it here. You heard it here. Lark Davis, actually, with the take there. So big fans of Lark. Now, I talked about Crypto Face in the beginning of the stream. Big shout out to Market Cipher. It's Market Cipher right there. The big green thing you're looking at is Money Flow. This is Market Cipher B. This is a great product. Highly recommend it. But Crypto Face, ETH. I think Drew has a code too, by the way. I need to get one. I should probably do that. Let Crypto Face know. I need to get one for sure. But ETH fighting ancient dragon resistance as we speak for the second time today. He said this week we break through resistance. Now I might have said he said all-time high. Maybe he might have meant the ancient dragon resistance. We're gonna go to the weekly. I think I have a fib extension on. We need to turn that off. Let's just get rid of it. Look at that date and price range. All right, so this is the area he's talking about. Looks very, very bullish here. This is, it's a little bit, can't tell, but yeah, there's the previous all-time high. Oh, this looks like it might be on a log chart. Maybe that's why there. So let's go to the ETH chart here. Oh, he's talking about this right here. Now, this is going to have a little bit of leeway on how you want to play those lines right there. You go to the 3-day, oh, I'll take it to the candle body, or I'll go to the weekly, oh, I'll take it to the candle body, or you go to the day, oh, I'll take it to the candle body. Looks like it is pretty close to the candle body on the daily. So we'll say that's close enough. Yeah, this is, he said, breaking through this week. This week, we're breaking through. So Crypto Face, very, very, very bullish. So I tend to not bet against him when it comes to midterm price predictions here on like that week to 2 week range. Now let's talk about XRP, everybody. We got bullish news for the XRP holders. Smash that like button if you hold XRP. Today, we're going to have a golden cross. So the 50-day moving average crosses over the 200-day moving average. What is your XRP target? I don't know if that's inherently bullish, though. So let's go to XRP. Pretty sure I have Death Cross already fired up here. Did I really take it off? Oh, no, there it goes. There it goes. It's right here. It's right here. Go to the daily. Ooh, we certainly do, folks. We certainly do. So let's see what happened last time the green line passed over the red line, when this shorter term moving average passed over this longer term moving average. All right, well, there's our quote unquote death cross. XRP continued to go lower. Sometimes it's a lagging indicator. So we're looking for the bulk. Ooh, buddy. Ooh. Now it's kind of hard to tell. It's like, oh man. Okay, so it actually kind of happened right there. Yeah. So it actually went a little bit lower, but this to me is just, it coiled. Okay. It coiled for a while. It coiled like Cobra Kai. Okay. Cobra Kai never dies with XRP holders. It coiled for 84 days. I don't think, I mean, we were already beyond the point of coiling. So I don't think there's any coiling to be had here. But we could measure the move. I don't think it can move this much. You know, this is a smaller market cap. I think pump out 500%. 500%. We will come in from the top rope. I mean, we're not even 500% pump. It was actually 485. $13 XRP. That's a little bit that's a little too bullish there. Okay. You're hitting the rocks. Okay. If you think that's going to happen there, but that's what happened last time the death cross crossed over. I'm sorry. This time, that's what happened. We got a golden cross there. Golden cross is the opposite of the death cross there. So very, very bullish target. Now we also have XRP BTC about to smash through an 8-year resistance level, ancient dragon resistance level, not a random breakout, but a generational wealth opportunity. And guess what, folks? XRP spot ETFs aren't even approved yet, which makes this breakout just a beginning. This I tend to agree with. I do think ETFs will give XRP an additional leg up. Double-digit XRP is not a meme anymore. Oh, man. It's a reality in 2025. XRP BTC, I typically will go to Binance for this. You could do XRP USD /BTC USD, but Binance has really good trading pairs for most of these. Doge BTC, ADA BTC. And if we zoom out, I want to make sure we're on oh man. I've jokingly like talked about this range, but a lot of people, you know, like that was a range like, oh, I mean, it's going to break it eventually. It's going to break it eventually. This is going to break it eventually. This is so downward sloping though, but yeah, this is resistance, and XRP is probably going to have a nice little surge after this. So as big as the market cap is, and as far-fetched the idea that it's going to replace all banking rails, you know, I mean, RLUSD is probably going to be more successful than XRP in the long run. But given all that, I mean, I try not to fade XRP too hard there, folks. It will. Project Cordy with the hot takes. This guy hate XRP. No, I don't hate XRP. People do hate XRP, and I just try to play middle of the road and present both sides, folks. We're here to assess all information, assign probabilities, and what we need to do is remove our emotions. And I probably have trouble removing my emotions with Cardano in particular, but and mutant apes. But other than that, I try to be fairly fair, though, folks. Let's see here. Going to $500 billion market cap. Don't worry about the price. Just track the market cap. Yeah, more and more tokens hit the ecosystem. That is something to pay attention to for sure. HBAR will get the ETF first. I think it might be Solana. Solana to reach 200, probably pumping right now. We do have some unlocks this week. Plume got a little bit of an unlock, and Hyper and Helium. No, that's HNT. These tokens have some Humanity Protocol. Watch out for these, and alt layer as well. So those aren't too big. You don't got to worry too much. Now, be very, very careful sending your ETH to the wrong address. Coinbase has said $3.4 billion has been lost. If you got a family member asking about crypto, just tell them, you know, just be careful. I literally had a family member text me this morning. I told him Friday, I said, look, Trump just, he was like, hey, man, I want to buy some crypto. You know, he's got a retirement account. He's an older individual. He's about 60 years old. He's like, hey, I want to buy some crypto. I said, this is on Friday. I said, well, Donald Trump just bought, I think it was 20 million. I can't remember the exact number. Just bought Ethereum like 2 hours ago. This is literally right after. I was like, I would buy some ETH, and I would buy BlackRock's ETH ETF. Text me this morning. So I bought Bitcoin into a group called Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And so, you know, most people are going to go that route, but some people are going to try to self-custody. Just walk your family members through this and make sure they don't lose their crypto. ETH trap forever, burn address, 43 million, parity wallet bug. So a lot of ETH lost forever. Just help those family members out if they lose it. Now, someone brought up Solana. Hitting $200 easy today. Well, this is going to be one of the things that makes it a little bit easier. Looks like we just got a DAO Solana Treasury company, DeFi DevCorp, has acquired an additional 141,000 Solana at 133. They now have 1 million SOL. They have $192 million in Solana and is now the largest among all publicly traded companies. So you're able to get exposure to Solana through the stock market as well right there. Now, I said we bring up Dogecoin. Very bullish breakout. The volume is tripling. We're seeing ETH Classic pump. And to me, that's a sign. And it's the Robinhood pump. Coins on Robinhood are pumping. Some stocks are pumping. And a lot of people, they just have everything they have is on Robinhood. All their entire investment portfolio, their entire retirement is on Robinhood. And there's a lot of money trapped in the Robinhood ecosystem. And a lot of that ecosystem money is going to flow into Dogecoin. It's just one of the few coins you can buy on Robinhood. I mean, they have more, but I think it's just one of the more attractive ones to retail. It trades under $1. And so let's look at the Doge BTC chart. Is the weekly chart here. We did fall below support. And so that was not what we want to see. We weren't sure, can Doge recover? Because there were some lower levels that, could potentially hit. This is 100 Satoshis. And you can see how strong that support was. This is right about 15 Satoshis. And right now it's trading about 230 Satoshis. Satoshis is a unit of Bitcoin. But during the 2021 run-up, Doge went to over 1,000 Satoshis. And so right now it's only 236, though. It could quadruple relative to Bitcoin. And if it quadruples, you're looking at a $1 Doge. And that's with Bitcoin's price being flat. I've said I do think we could see $1 Doge this cycle. I think we're going to have a lot of selling around 69 cents. That's where I topped out last time. But I've been pretty bullish on Doge. And I mean, just looking at this 1 year chart, Doge dips are for buying. And during the Trump pump, it ran up to 40 cents. And so keep an eye out on this 40-cent range. Maybe take a little bit of profit if you're way up on your Doge and roll it into a good stock with some revenue or maybe even a dividend yield there, or just buy some ETH, buy some Bitcoin. That's also a great strategy there. All right, folks, that is our show. Bro, ADA, WTF. I know. It's just so good. It's just so awesome. And that token can't stop pumping. It is now up 7%. Well, Dogecoin is up 11. Yeah, we're seeing nice little spikes. We got a $5 super chat from Frankie. Hey guys, hope you have a great day. Wonder what you guys think of Say and where you see it going this bull run. Will it pass all-time high? I will keep repeating this. You should sell your Say for SWE. Sell Say for SWE. And let's just kind of check the charts here. So we're going to look at SWE. We're going to duplicate this and go look at Say and just kind of look at after the Trump pump. So after the Trump pump, we're talking about, November. That's around November 2024. So after the Trump pump, this is right here, December 2024, Say pumped to 69 cents, and now it's down, and it created a lower high. You look at the market cap, there's a lot of sell pressure there. Now, if you look at SWE after the Trump pump, it went to $5, but it kept pumping actually. So there's the November pump, there's the December pump, and then it kept pumping into January. And now it's, slightly lower. It went from $5.30 to $4, whereas Say went from 70 cents to 36. So Say is still down 50%, while SWE is only down about, 20% move. It's at $5. So SWE is a lot closer. So I think long term, SWE is going to outperform Say. There's going to be, maybe this isn't going to be true in the next 14 days, 7 days. But I think if you go out 140 days, 1,000 days, 90 days, then I think you're going to see SWE just slowly eat Say. And so there we go. There's my Say SWE thesis there, if you will. Coinbase stock, would you sell? I'm actually I'm having that same debate. We got coin stock, very, very great price. We got right there, depths of the bear market. So we're all up about 12, 13x on our coin stock from that first purchase. I mean, a 10x, that's like better than almost every altcoin this cycle. So coin, I'm still hodling, but if I had to roll it into something, I would roll it into maybe cash on the sidelines. If Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, if they're all like selling billions of dollars worth of stock, maybe put some cash on the sidelines. Otherwise, I would probably roll the profits into Tesla. I'm very, very long-term bullish on Tesla. And we also bought Hood stock, and they're all up about 10x there. So that one, I have taken profits, and I rolled it into Palantir. And so that's my little stock strategy there. But thanks for listening to the stock strategy. Thanks for hanging out, Disco fam. It's been a great episode. I got to go work on some shorts, and I got to go check these Cardano wallets and make sure I don't have too many crappy CNTs. And let's just ride ADA to the moon, folks. Smash that like button on the way out. I think Josh is going to be getting a trade in a little bit later. And yeah, we know how dark Palantir is. We don't date it. We don't hate it. We just trade it. Now go ahead, smash that like. That's all we got.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.